Most people look at the film industry and see a lottery. They see thousands of people standing in line waiting for a gatekeeper to say yes. I'm not standing in that line. If you're watching this, you're seeing day one of 30-day case study on how to build a feature film from the ground up, not as an art project, but as a high-growth startup. We are documenting the business architecture of a single location faith-based action thriller. We're going to talk about the numbers that Hollywood doesn't share, the risk management strategies that keep indie projects afloat, and why the Christian label is actually one of the strongest market signals in 2026 economy. This isn't about making it in Hollywood. This is about building an intellectual property that is designed to return capital to its partners before even the first frame is even color graded. In business, a red ocean is a market full of sharks. It's the $200 million franchise space where the cost of entry is astronomical and the competition is lethal. For an indie filmmaker, the red ocean is the generic horror film or the slice of life drama. There's too much supply and not enough differentiated demand. A blue ocean is a market where demand is high, but the supply is broken. For us, that blue ocean is the faith-based action thriller. Look at the data. In 2026, the faith-based market is no longer a fringe niche. It's a multi-billion-dollar powerhouse. However, 90% of the content is being produced for its audience falls into the category of gentle drama. There is a massive underserved demographic, primarily men aged 18 to 45 years old, who want high-stakes, edge-of-your-seat tension, but they want it built on foundation of moral clarity, redemption. They want the thrill without the nihilism. That's a market gap you can drive a truck through. And that's where our business model begins. Now let's talk about risk mitigation. The number one reason indie films fail isn't bad acting, it's logistical bloat. Companies die when their burn rate exceeds their capital. Films die when they have too many locations, too many moves, and too much overhead. We're utilizing the LEM model, limited environment movie. Our story is set in a single high-stakes building. From a business perspective, this is a masterpiece of overhead reduction. By locking the location to one building, we're effective eliminate company moves, which can eat 3 to 4 hours of shooting a day, multiple permitting fees, which can cost thousands of dollars per day in a city like this. Logistical fragility. Every time you move a crew, something breaks or someone is late. When I talk to potential partners, I'm not pitching a cool story. I'm pitching a production model where 90% of every dollar goes directly on the screen instead of into gas or moving trucks. This brings our break-even point down significantly. In a world where a small movie costs $5 million, we are building a model that can achieve a studio look for a fraction of that, simply through architectural efficiency. Unit economics of narrative equity. The third pillar of day one is narrative equity. In the startup world, you have brand equity. In film, you have narrative equity. The value of the story themes. Christian films have a long tail, unlike a standard action movie that disappears 2 weeks after it's been released. Faith-based content has a recurring revenue life cycle. Churches, community groups, and niche streaming platforms provide a built-in distribution network that most indie films would kill for. We aren't just selling a ticket, we are creating an asset that can be licensed for years because the themes of redemption, sacrifice, and hope don't have expiration date. When you combine a low-cost production model, LEM, with a high-demand niche, blue ocean, and a long-term asset class, faith-based, you aren't just making a movie, you're creating a financial vehicle that makes sense on a spreadsheet, not just a storyboard. I have no budget today. I have no crew, I have no gear, but I have a market thesis. And in this business of film, thesis is what determines the outcome. Over the next 29 days, I'm going to break down exactly how we're going to fund, produce, and distribute this project using nothing but discipline and market data. Tomorrow, we dive into recoupment waterfall, the exact order in which investors, creators, and cast get paid, and why transparency in that math is the only way to get a yes in this industry.